freshman seminar project, Career Skills, presented and created by Kyra Weathersby and Juan Barajas. Table of Contents. Introducing the 5 common career skills, skill relations, how do I survive in college presentation on the what's and how, and the process analysis.
Five common career skills. Speaking, talking to others to convey information effectively. Next, active listening, giving full attention to what other people are saying, taking time to understand the points being made, asking questions as appropriate, and not interrupting at inappropriate times. Critical thinking, using logic and reasoning to identify the strengths and weaknesses of alternative solutions, conclusions, or approaches to problems. Next is social perceptiveness, being aware of others' reactions and understanding why they react as they do. And lastly, reading comprehension, understanding written sentences and paragraphs in work-related documents. Relations Part 1. For my career, which is radio and TV announcer, the first skill that I will use is speaking. I will have to use speaking skills when it comes to getting information to others. I will have to speak clearly, effectively, and overall good enough for the audience listening to comprehend. The second one is active listening. I will have to be able to pay full attention to whoever is speaking, whether it's an interview, gathering information, or any other work that I do. I will also have to make sure that I'm not interrupting the person speaking and I'm getting precise information. Next is critical thinking. I will have to be able to be reasonable when making decisions and be able to solve problems efficiently and rapidly. Then, for social perceptiveness, I will have to interact and be social with people daily. Therefore, I will have to keep in mind of their opinions and how they react to what's being said and what's being discussed. Lastly, for reading comprehension, in my career, I will be reading documents and information that's given to me to announce, so I will have to be able to pronunciate well and have a wide range of vocab as well as rapid reading skills.
Relations Part 2. For my career, it being lawyer/attorney, I have encountered 5 different set of skills that, just as Kiara, will help me further increase my knowledge and my mastery of the career choice. First of all, I do have speaking. As for my career as a lawyer, speaking comes into a great need and use, both with clients and in court. Speaking plays a big part in the communication between a client and both the judge and jury. Second, we have active listening. Now, active listening allows me not to only understand the type of case I will be working with, but as well it allows me to gather information for further use. Third, we have critical thinking. In law, just as in many other fields of expertise, critical thinking plays a vital role in coming up with arguments, separating facts from opinions, falsifying statements, and problem solving deriving from critical thinking. Next up, we have social perceptiveness. There's not many who realize the importance of social perceptiveness in the field of law, but it is crucial when speaking with the jury, as it is their reactions that provide you on information of where to go next, whether it be wrong or right, whether the issue be correct or false. Social perceptiveness allows you to distinguish attitudes and behaviors that allow you to further increase your case and where to go next. Reading comprehension. Now, reading comprehension is the most important of becoming a lawyer, as all law exists in writings, and as lawyers, it is our job to classify what can help the case. Reading comprehension not only allows us to analyze text, but informs us whether it is related to the case or not, and whether it can be used or not.
How do I survive college? Our project, which is How Do I Survive College, is revolved around the factors that allow people to succeed in college through the form of an educated interview where students discuss with us various subjects on their weekly college life, discussing the who, what, when and where and whys for college. For this project, we implemented 3 steps to complete it. First, question construction. Second, information gathering, which was the interview. And third, result analysis.
Question construction. When constructing the questions for the interview, our group began thinking on different aspects that could affect or help college life. Receiving information from outside sources as well, we decided that our questions would revolve around student activities, study hours, dietary health, mental health, and the overall schedule. For the student activities, we considered student involvements around campus and outside, where it meant organizations or work that could have a positive or negative effect on the student life. For study hours, we simply wanted to perceive the amount of time that students took to study in order to determine whether it was sufficient enough. For our dietary health, we wanted to analyze students' health by their eating and exercising habits in order to compare whether a healthy lifestyle provided better results. For mental health, we simply wanted to establish the concept of stress and how it affects college students' ability to perform. And last but not least, for the overall schedule, we simply wanted to receive a better perspective on the student's lifestyle by their day-to-day basis and on how we can improve it.
Information gathering, interview plus tip provisions. When conducting interviews, we each spoke with 10 separate college students asking the questions based on the subjects of the last slide, which portrayed the abilities to survive in college. For the interview, we used the traditional interview style form, which simply means across the table face to face. We asked students for their time and began asking the questions, writing down information, as well as giving a quick survey that they would fill out if they had the time or chance. Towards the end of the interview, we provided each student with a list of tips and tricks that could benefit them in their journey through college.
Result analysis. In the section of student activities, we measured their involvement in activities in school and outside and how it affected them, as we wanted to see if there was such a thing as too many activities or too little. For study hours, we viewed the amount of hours that students took per week to study and discussed whether it was enough or not nearly close to obtaining the minimum required performance achievement. In dietary health, we did not only focus on food, but exercise as well. As through research, we came to the conclusion that a healthy lifestyle paved a foundation for overall life achievements. In mental health, we studied the concept of stress, how it affects students, and how they manage it, providing and receiving tips on how to handle, manage, and disperse stress. For the overall schedule, we simply asked a few questions regarding the students' day-to-day life, whether it involved me time, study time, lunch, sleeping hours, or any of the above, to obtain a better view of their lifestyle and how they proceed in it.
Data. So for the surviving college survey / interview, these are the results that we got. It's all put into a bar graph. And so the first thing that we asked was about eating healthy. And 9 college students said yes, that they do feel like they eat healthy. And 11 of them said no. Then whether they were employed and had a job or not, 11 said yes, 9 said no. Whether they were involved in college activities like on campus, any clubs or anything, 8 said yes, 12 said no. If they felt like they slept enough, 7 of them said yes, 13 said no. If they had ever been to CASA, 6 said yes, 14 said no. If they had ever met with their professor, 17 said yes, and then 3 said no. So this is basically all of the results that we got from these particular questions. More data. So these 4 questions were included in the survey / interview that we did as well. The first one says, how many times have you met with your professor this semester? So for those students who did say that they met with their professor, they will answer this next question. And 4 of them chose A, which is 1 to 2. 2 of them chose B, which is 2 to 4. 3 of them chose C, which is 4 to 6. And then 0 chose 7 plus. The next question I was asked was, how many times have you been to CASA this semester? And as a result, there was 1 for each multiple choice answer. The third question was about how many hours do you study in a week? 3 students said 1 to 5. 1 student said 6 to 10. 3 students said 11 to 15. And then 2 students said 16 plus. Then the last question is about how many hours do you sleep per day? 5 students said 1 to 5. And then 5 more students said 6 to 10. And then 0 said 10 plus. So this is just basically all the results for students who did meet with their professor, did go to CASA, studied during the week, and slept a certain amount of hours per day. College student advice. So after conducting our interview or survey, we also asked the college students if they would like to give any advice or any tips to new or incoming college students or students who are already at our school or any other school. And so a few of those tips were stay on top of things and study, sleep and find a way to stay organized, use planners, and do not procrastinate. Do not procrastinate was a very common one. Do your work, go to tutoring and take notes, and just worry about learning a skill, rather focus so much on the grade. So this is just basically most of the advice that we got back. Most of them kind of like repeated themselves, but these were the common ones from the results that we got. So for our references, we used 360 choices, and that's kind of where we found our career and what fits best for us and like what we want to do. And then for ONET, we looked at our skills and the common things that we have for both of our careers. And so both of these both help us get our project done and gave us lots of information and what we had in common as far as career and skills that we would use in the future.